Welcome to Omaranger004, where we talk comics, movies, TV shows and games. But before we start, please join me on Patreon by Omaranger004. Your small donation helps run the channel. With that out of the way, let's begin. Captain Planet and the Planeteers is an American animated environmentalist superhero television series created by Barbara Pyle and Ted Turner, and developed by Pyle, Nicholas Boxer, Tom Beers, Andy Hayward, Robbie London, Bob Forward and Cassandra Schaffhausen. The series was produced by Turner Program Services and Dick Enterprises and United States broadcast on TBS from September 15, 1990, to December 5, 1992, and United Kingdom broadcast on TVM from 1991 to 1992, GMTV from 1993 to 1996, and Cartoon Network from 1994 to 1999. 2. A sequel series, The New Adventures of Captain Planet, was produced by Hanna-Barbera Cartoons, Inc., distributed by Turner Program Services and United States Broadcast from September 11, 1993, to May 11, 1996. 3. Both series continue today in syndication. 4. The program is a form of edutainment and advocates environmentalism and is known for having a number of famous actors providing voices for the villains. 5. 6. The show spawned a franchise consisting of a charity and video games. Our world is in peril. Gaia, the spirit of the earth, can no longer stand the terrible destruction plaguing our planet. She sends 5 magic rings to 5 special young people. Kwame, from Africa, with the power of earth. From North America, Wheeler, with the power of fire. From Eastern Europe, Linka, with the power of wind. From Asia, Gi, with the power of water. And from South America, Mati, with the power of heart. When the 5 powers combine, they summon Earth's greatest champion, Captain Planet. The power is yours. Every episode is followed up with at least one Planeteer alert clip, often connected to the plot, where environmental, political and other social political issues are discussed and how the viewer can contribute and be part of the solution, rather than the pollution. 7. Gaia, voiced by Whoopi Goldberg in seasons 1 to 3, Margot Kidder in seasons 4 to 6, is the spirit of the planet who sends 5 magic rings. 4 with the power to control an element of nature and 1 controlling the element of heart, to 5 chosen youths across the globe. She claims to have been asleep for the entire 20th century and awoken to see a more polluted world than when she was last awake. However, this is contradicted by a flashback episode set in the 1920s in which people get guidance from Gaia. Her physical manifestation is that of a beautiful black woman. In the 2-part episode, Summit to Save Earth, where her rival Zarm had defeated her, Gaia was shown as an old, frail woman, with Zarm explaining that given the Earth's several billion years of existence, it would make sense for Gaia to be superannuated in appearance. Captain Planet in situations that the Planeteers cannot resolve alone, they can combine their planetary powers to summon the titular Captain Planet, voiced by David Coburn, 8, who is Mati's magnified heart power in the form of a male blue-skinned superhero avatar with green mullet, possessing all of the other Planeteers' amplified powers. Once his work is done, Captain Planet returns to the planet, and leaves viewers with the message, "The power is yours." Typically, Planet only manifests to deal with the bigger crisis and then departs, but a few storylines have explored him existing beyond these moments, such as when he was summoned while Kwame and Mati were in space, with the result that the energy from their rings that created Planet could not return to its source, resulting in Planet being forced to operate on a human level, such as requiring a crowbar and handcuff keys to rescue the rest of the team. The Planeteers are tasked with helping defend the planet from environmental disasters and making efforts to educate humankind to keep others from happening. In the beginning of the episodes, Gaia uses her planet vision in the crystal chamber to discover where the most devastating destruction is occurring. In most episodes, one or more of the eco-villains is behind it and sends the Planeteers to help solve the problem. The Planeteers use transportation, usually a flying machine called a geocruiser, based on solar power to avoid causing pollution themselves. 9. Kwame, voiced by LeVar Burton, hailing from Africa. Kwame possesses the power of Earth. Wheeler, voiced by Joey Didio, from Brooklyn, New York City, United States. Wheeler controls the power of fire. Linka, voiced by Kath Soucie, from the Soviet Union, Seasons 1 and 2, and Eastern Europe, Seasons 3 to 6. Linka has the power of wind. Gi, voiced by Janice Kawai, hailing from Asia. Gi controls the power of water. Ma-Ti, voiced by Scott Menville, from Brazil. Ma-Ti wields the power of heart. Suchi, vocal effects provided by Frank Welker, Ma-Ti's pet spider monkey. Villains, eco-villains. The eco-villains. Clockwise from left. Dr. Blight, Verminous Scum, Duke Nukem, Hoggish Greedly, Zarm, Luden Plunder and Sly Sludge as seen in Summit to Save Earth, PT. 1. The eco-villains are a small group of antagonists who cause danger to the planet through pollution, deforestation, poaching, and other environmentally unsafe activities. They enjoy the destruction they cause to the planet and the harm they bring to obtain wealth, land, or power. The eco-villains tend to work alone most of the time, although they're willing to work with one another when it suits their plans. When the eco-villains are defeated by Captain Planet and the Planeteers, they would mostly be arrested by the authorities. Only in the two-part episode, Summit to Save Earth, did the entire ensemble of eco-villains work as a team with Zarm as the leader. Each of these villains represents a specific way of thought that can cause ecological problems. Hoggish Greedly, voiced by Ed Asner, a pig-like human who represents the dangers of overconsumption and greed. Hoggish is the first villain Captain Planet and the Planeteers encounter. In the episode, Smog Hog, it's revealed Hoggish has a son named Hoggish Greedly Jr. Voiced by Charlie Schlatter, who appears only once and had gotten affected by his polluting Roadhog plot. Because of this, Greedly had to work with Captain Planet to save his son's life. In the episode, Hog Tied, it is revealed that he has a grandfather named Don Porcoloin, portrayed as a parody of Vito Corleone from The Godfather and also voiced by Ed Asner, who in the past was defeated by another group of Planeteers. Unlike Hoggish Greedly, Porcoloin became environmentally friendly as shown in the episode, The Ghost of Porcoloin Past. Rigger, voiced by John Ratzenberger, Greedly's main henchman. He once claimed in The Ghost of Porcoloin Past that the main reason he works for Greedly is because no one else would hire him. He does sometimes question Greedly's orders and shows concern when Greedly's actions hurt the environment, though it never has any effect on his boss, and Rigger, for the most part, remains loyal to Greedly. Rigger does all the leg work while Greedly usually sits around and eats. Verminous Scum, voiced by Jeff Goldblum in Season 1, Maurice LaMarche in Season 2 to 5, the second villain to appear on the series. He is a part human, part rat creature who represents urban blight, disease, and drug abuse. Scum can control rats and has his own personal helicopter called the Scum-ocopter. Scum is responsible for the death of Linka's cousin Boris via drugs in the episode, Mind Pollution. In some of the later episodes, Verminous Scum partook in war profiteering when selling weapons to different gangs. Rat Pack, a group of humanoid rats that work for Verminous Scum. Duke N. Nukem, voiced by Dean Stockwell in seasons 1 to 3. Maurice LaMarche in seasons 4 to 6, a doctor who changed himself into a radioactive yellow rock-skinned mutant who represents the misuse of nuclear power, and the third villain to appear. He is one of the few eco-villains, along with Zarm and Captain Pollution, able to battle Captain Planet one-on-one. Nukem generates radiation to fire off radioactive blasts from his hands and possesses X-ray vision. Apogee temporarily renamed the eponymous character of the Duke Nukem computer game franchise to Duke Nukem, so as to avoid any possible trademark claims they could face from the producers of Captain Planet. The character was later found to be under no trademark and the games were restored to their original titles. 10. Duke Leadsuit, voiced by Frank Welker, Duke Nukem's henchman. Leadsuit's name defines his appearance as he wears a full-bodied lead hazmat suit to withstand the radiation released by Duke Nukem's body. He revealed that he works for Duke Nukem because when Nukem takes over the world, he'll get to be second in command. Leadsuit is timid, rarely arguing with Nukem, and always losing if he objects to anything. Leadsuit is afraid of the dark and usually gives in at the slightest trouble. Dr. Barbara Babs Blight, voiced by Meg Ryan in 1990-1991, Mary Kay Bergman in 1992-1996, Tessa Aubergenois in OKKO. Let's Be Heroes, the fourth villain revealed. Dr. Blight is a mad scientist who represents the dangers of uncontrolled technology and unethical scientific experimentation. As a result of self-experimentation, the left half of her face is horribly scarred and is usually hidden by her hair. In the episode Hog Tied, it is revealed that Dr. Blight had a grandmother named Betty Blight who assisted Don Porcaloin in his plot. In the episode Hollywaste, it is revealed that Dr. Blight has a sister named Bambi, voiced by Kath Soucie. Bambi calls Blight by her nickname, Babs, but is called the Headache Woman in her eco-villain name. Dr. Mal, voiced by David Rappaport in 1990, Tim Curry in 1991-1996, Dr. Blight's artificial intelligence computerized husband and henchman. He has the ability to hack into other computer systems, take over them and reprogram them mainly to Dr. Blight's specifications. Mal is often the control and main power source of everything in Dr. Blight's labs as well as the vehicles she travels in. Loot and Plunder, voiced by James Coburn in seasons 1 to 3, Ed Gilbert in seasons 4 to 6, a wealthy poacher and crooked businessman who represents the evils of unethical business actions. Luton is the sixth villain to appear on Captain Planet in the 7th episode, The Last of Her Kind. He is also shown to have a nephew named Robin Plunder. His name was a play on the term, loot and plunder, and he was always in the ending credits of every episode when the singer mentioned, "Bad guys who like to loot and plunder," taken from footage of one episode where a dishevelled plunder sees his scheme in ruins and screams, "You will pay for this, Captain Planet." Plunder is the only eco-villain to come out on top as seen in Who Gives a Hoot, where the Planeteers lose after failing to provide proof to a judge that Plunder was illegally cutting down trees in an old-growth forest. Argos Bleak, voiced by S. Scott Bullock, Loot and Plunder's main henchman and bodyguard. He also functions as a mercenary and carries out most of Plunder's dirty work. Argos seems to have a military background as he is seen in many episodes flying helicopters or other aircraft, and is proficient in handling firearms. Argos even got his own episode, The Predator, where he appeared without his boss to hunt down sharks. Another time where Plunder conspired with Hoggish greedily, Argos Bleak was seen arguing with Rigger as to who was the better eco-villain. Pinehead Brothers, voiced by Dick Gautier and Frank Welker, Oki and Doki are two oversized lumberjacks that are Loot and Plunder's henchmen in the final season of The New Adventures of Captain Planet. Professor Sly Sludge, voiced by Martin Sheen in seasons 1 to 3, Jim Cummings in seasons 4 to 6, an unscrupulous waste collector who represents laziness, ignorance, and the dangers of apathy and short-term thinking. However, as many of his schemes involve waste management, which is a legitimate environmental issue, he often uses that to gain apparent respectability. Sludge is the last villain to be revealed. He is also the only main villain to defect to the Planeteers, where a recycling program of his makes a lot of money by the end of No Small Problem. The money enables Sludge to propose plans to mass produce an affordable, eco-friendly way to safely dispose of waste. Professor Ooze, voiced by Cam Clark, Sly Sludge's henchman. He is often underpaid and works for Sludge because he has no other option. Like Rigger, Ooze does most of the heavy work while his boss watches. Professor Tank Flusher III, voiced by Frank Welker, Sly Sludge's strongman servant who makes his debut in The New Adventures of Captain Planet. Episode: A Mine is a Terrible Thing to Waste. PT. One where he answered an ad for a heinous henchman to serve a Machiavellian master, even though he doesn't know what it means. Zarm, voiced by Sting in 1990-1992, David Warner in 1993, Malcolm McDowell in 1994-1995, a former spirit of the planet who left Gaia in search of other worlds and ended up laying other populous planets to ruin, lacking Gaia to balance out his methods. He represents war and destruction. Even though Zarm does not have any henchmen of his own, he would often manipulate other people to do his bidding. He once united Hoggish Greedley, Loot and Plunder, Sly Sludge, Duke Nukem, Verminous Scum, and Dr. Blight under his leadership in the two-part episode, Summit to Save Earth. Other times he recruits and manipulates others, even the Planeteers, to work for him. Zarm is the fifth eco-villain to appear in the series, having his first appearance in the 6th episode. Outside of war and destruction, Zarm promoted hatred and totalitarianism, which he believed were the most dangerous pollutants to mankind, as evidenced by his acting as kingmaker to a dictator named Morger. Zarm admits he has been a guiding force for every despot of the 20th century, but admits one of them actually declined his help and challenges the Planeteers to guess who, saying, "I think you'll be pleasantly surprised." Captain Pollution, a polluting counterpart to Captain Planet named Captain Pollution, voiced by David Coburn, like his good counterpart, appears in the two-part episode, Mission to Save Earth. When Dr. Blight steals the Planeteers' rings, creates polluting duplicates of them, and distributes the duplicates to most of the other eco-villains. Each eco-villain received a specific ring which had the opposite power of the Planeteers. Duke Nukem has a super radiation ring counterpart of fire. Loot and Plunder has a deforestation ring counterpart of earth. Sly Sludge has a smog ring counterpart of wind. Verminous Scum has a toxics ring counterpart of water. Dr. Blight has a hate ring counterpart of heart. Each of the evil rings has malevolent faces on them, in contrast to the more element-themed Planeteer rings. Captain Pollution is weakened when he is in contact with pure elements such as clean water or sunlight, while he gains power from contact with pollutants, being able to absorb pollutant and emit radioactive rays, and is later shown to gain limitless power when in contact with pollutants after his resurrection. When he is summoned he says, "By your polluting powers combined, I am Captain Pollution." Ha, 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 ha. And when he disappears, he declares, "The polluting power is yours." In his first appearance, he is sent by the eco-villains to destroy the Planeteers but gets chased off by Commander Clash, and after a fight with Captain Planet, he returns to the evil rings causing them to explode. In the two-part episode, A Mine is a Terrible Thing to Waste, Captain Pollution is brought back to life by toxins of the 5 evil rings that seep into the planet. Captain Pollution is Captain Planet's polar opposite in personality as well as power. In contrast to Planet's generous and altruistic nature, Pollution is lazy and arrogant, seeing himself as a god and his creators as servants rather than partners. Captain Planet sums up the difference in their outlook during their first battle by taunting that the Planeteers have no boss. They are a team, and this is why Pollution will always lose. Captain Pollution resembles Captain Planet, but his skin is pale yellow and covered in brown lesions. His hair is red and styled in a widow's peak, and he has red eyes. His costume is the same color and style as Planet's, but the globe on his chest is torn in the middle. His voice is similar to Captain Planet's, but it has a California Valley twang to it. Captain Pollution is defeated twice by Captain Planet. First in Mission to Save Earth, by being rammed through earth, lava, air and water, and then again in A Mine is a Terrible Thing to Waste, by being tricked into going into an underground magma chamber. Captain Pollution is destroyed by Captain Planet, who throws pollution in the water, destroying him. Other villains, the Slaughters, a family of poachers who made their debut in The New Adventures of Captain Planet. The Slaughters represent the endangerment of animals and the evils of poaching and are often in direct monetary competition with Loot and Plunder. Mame and her family once collaborated with Loot and Plunder and Argos Bleak in the episode Horns a Plenty, when the Planeteers ruined each one's rhinoceros poaching. Mame Slaughter, voiced by Teresa Saldana in the first appearance, Mitzi McCall in the second appearance, the leader of the Slaughters. Stalker Slaughter, voiced by Charlie Adler, one of Mame's sons and her second in command. He has a strong attachment to her as he needs her directions most of the time. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more videos about your favorite comics, movies are coming soon. Join me on Patreon by Omaranger004. Your small donation helps run the channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.